Hi everyone, my name is Garnette O'Connell. My adventures that happen, I finally know someone who can get those into books. Her name is Allison. I've always wanted to get my adventures written in books, and now that I know Allison, she can do that for me. She's going to be doing a book reading. It's part of a series called The Adventures of a Mermaid, and the book she's reading this time is called The Rat Prophecy. This is part 1. Welcome to The Rat Prophecy, everyone. I am super psyched about this book. Now, before I actually start talking about it, I do have a few things I want to mention. One, a lot has been going on in my personal life, and I do hope by the time this video is up, I'll have solved at least one of my problems. As most of you know, I'm an athlete and a representative for Special Olympics. I'm actually trying to complete the degree that helps me stay as a representative, which is super awesome. So my only problem is that I need to get 3 more speeches and interviews by July 21st. So I'm trying so hard to get all that done. I already have the volunteer hours scheduled so that I can get those done for the degree. I am really hoping that I can get this done. Otherwise, I won't be able to get a second extension on this degree, and I don't know what to do. Anyways, I do believe that's it, though. So let's go ahead and start talking about the book. Alright, I know this is going to be a long intro, so I actually will have like an annotation below telling you where you can skip. But I just wanted to make sure I covered everything. Now, I do want to be brief about the Rat Prophecy. I don't want to spoil too much, but basically, this is the sequel to Aquatica. This is part of a set called The Adventures of a Mermaid. Now, you're probably wondering why I decided to voice as Garnette for the intro, and I will explain why. If you're watching this because of the actual sequel to the book, then you have not paid attention to the cover art that this is linked to. I've been trying to find a wig that would be as close to the image I have of Garnette. It's not exactly perfect, but it's close to what I imagined. And of course, Garnette has a different face than me. I found the wig on Amazon, believe it or not. And let me show you how wigs work. Because if I had known about this hairnet years ago, I would have felt more comfortable in the first wig that I got for the costume of Chunk from the movie Goonies. Oh my gosh, I was so psyched about that. So what you want to do is have this little hairnet here. It's actually a special hairnet that I got with the wig. If I had gotten it when I was dressing up as Chunk, I wouldn't have felt so uncomfortable wearing that wig. Now, the image that the thing gave me, I was a little confused. But I eventually found out how to do it. So basically, you're going to have extra of the hairnet, like this. You either want to do it in the front or in the back. Now, me personally, I would do it in the front. Whoops. But considering the wig that I'm using, I don't want it to get loose. It's already getting loose. Okay. Now, the wig for Chunk, I got that from a store here in town called Mod Vintage. It's a really cool shop. You can actually get all different kinds of costumes there. You can either rent it or buy it. And now, there's actually little snaps in this wig that will help me lock it into place. But voila! And what's weird about this is, hang on, let me put my glasses on, because I can't see. Well, I'm not exactly blind without my glasses, but hey. What's weird about the wig is that the red is all in the back. At least that's the problem for me with the image of Garnette. Garnette's hair has red stripes. They're basically, they look like highlights, but she's actually born with the red and black hair. It doesn't reappear when it's wet. It's like that since she was born. So, it's strange to see the red at the bottom, just because that's not the image I have for Garnette, but that's how it looks. So, I'm actually really glad I got this, and one of the reasons why I got this was because I wanted to have a better cover art for the book. Seriously, this is actually really weird. I don't understand why it's... And this is real hair, everyone. This is real hair. So basically what I did to get the grunge wet look, I had to completely get the wig wet. Do not think about it. I know what you're thinking. Stop. Anyways, oh man, I had so much fun doing the pictures. I basically did my own photo shoot. I was nervous to get anyone to help me out with it, even with my neighbors, because I'm weird like that. I think anyone would be if you're trying to get a wet grunge look with just the wig. Don't stop. I know what you're thinking. So let's go ahead and talk about the book. The seriousness of the book. So, I actually went over the book description that I have for the Rap Prophecy, and suffice to say, I didn't like it, just because it was way too brief. Let me read that one description to you, and you'll understand why I didn't like it. I mean, it's a good description, it's just too brief. Have you wondered what happened after Garnette let an engaged couple learn her secret? Read the Rap Prophecy and see how she lives on land during the day, avoiding water at all public costs, and lives underwater at night. Imagine her surprise when there is more to her mermaid life. See what I mean now? Okay. The other day, I went over it, and I came up with a completely different description, and I hope you like this one instead, because I'm going to be using it in the playlist of this book. As time passed, the mermaid gained responsibilities. She is not only trained by her uncle, the king, she is also being trained by an engaged couple. She loves traveling between two worlds and has learned to balance them. When the couple convinces her to go to a job opportunity, a whole new adventure begins. Garnette O'Connell knew they wouldn't stop. Not after she meets an unscrupulous manager. How's that? How's that for a dragon? Okay. So, I'm actually super psyched about this. Let's go ahead and start with the Rap Prophecy. She couldn't stop grinning. Kids and grown-ups were walking about or running to the next booth, ride, or mini restaurant. Her favorite ride happened to be one with water. The timber log ride had seats for 8 people, 2 for each row. Thankfully, splashing was not allowed. It wouldn't be able to touch them anyways. The log ride had a calming stream. If anyone had gotten water on her, it would have spread news quicker than lightning. After all, it wasn't every day when one gets to see a mermaid. Garnette loved people watching. It had become a habit after she became a mermaid a few months earlier. She couldn't stay long. The sun would be setting within the next 3 hours. Once the moon rises from the horizon, her tail appears instantly. Is that the right tense? Oh, yeah, that's the right tense. Because it's still happening. She's still a mermaid to this day. Garnette! Kelly cried. She turned before she smiled. It was Kelly, an engaged woman who knew her secret. Kelly slowed as she came closer. Where have you been? You're missing out on so much stuff. Garnette giggled. I know. I can't help watching everyone. Just look at their expressions. Happy, ecstatic, sad, frustrated they can't get a prize. So much to see. There is. But you don't have much time. You can't stay here forever. Garnette nodded. I know. She sighed. It's a shame the amusement park isn't closer to Virginia Beach. It's a great place to go to. Kelly giggled. Come on, Jessie is waiting for us. She beckoned her to come. What ride do you have in mind this time? The Ferris wheel, of course. They walked toward the carousel. Oh, really? She said with disappointment. I'm not ready to go, though. What do you mean? It was Garnette's turn to giggle. Every time you guys head for the Ferris wheel, we end up leaving right after. Have you not noticed that? Kelly stopped to think. Well, I guess it's sort of like a tradition for us. We like to see across the park of what we're leaving behind and to see what area to hit next. She smiled. Come on, last one there buys hot dogs. She started running. No way will that happen again, Garnette thought. She chased after her friend. It took a few moments to get ahead of her. In no time, she beat Kelly to the Ferris wheel. Ha ha, your turn. Her friend laughed. Okay, I get it. I forgot. She was about to continue, but Jesse, a young, charming man, entered the conversation. There you two are. What took you? Kelly smiled at him. We were talking about how we always save the Ferris wheel for last. And then Kelly challenged a race. Garnette raised a brow at his fiancée. The loser pays for hot dogs. He chuckled, leading them to the Ferris wheel waiting line. And of course you won, Kelly. It was his fiancée's turn to raise a brow. Actually, it was the princess, Jessie. She smirked. I keep telling you, Garnette, take that job offer. You would be great as a dancer. Yeah, but not at the expense of men. You know my mom would hate it if I took that job. I'm not 21 yet. Heck, I'm not even 16. As the line decreased, they moved forward a few paces. It's not that kind of job, Garnette. They're belly dancers. I actually know a few of them, and one happens to be a ballerina. A ballerina? Garnette's eyes perked. And a belly dancer? How does that work? I bet she would love to answer that question. Come on, at least talk to some of the employees. Get a feel of the place. It's not what you think. She sighed. I'll think about it. Think about it? Garnette, the business asked us for help. If we didn't suggest someone, their waiting for offer would only be a week or two. They gave a month. And I know you're tired of working at that pet store. They moved forward more. There were 6 people left in front of the trio. Garnette sighed with frustration. She rubbed her forehead. Okay, I get it. I haven't thoroughly thought about it. The place is an hour away from your place. And what transportation would I use? I can't keep asking you to or my cousin for rides. I need to stand on my own 2 feet. The engaged couple eyed her. She winced and giggled sorrowfully. Well, when I am on my 2 feet. Hey, Jessie whispered firmly. There's nothing sad about who you are. Don't doubt yourself. It's hard not to, you know, she whispered. They stepped forward a few paces. Well, let's figure out which area to look when we're up there. He looked at his fiancée. You and I will look left, and Garnette can look right. Sounds good to me. She looked at Garnette. She nodded at the couple. Tickets, please, a young man told the trio. Jessie turned toward him and gave their last 6 tickets. Thank you. Ferris will lead you. Jessie raised a brow. If you'll ask, he'll answer. Always does. The man smiled. The 3 of them followed Ferris. He got the nickname for having such passion of all sorts of Ferris wheels. In fact, he was trying to design a new, fancy one with an old-fashioned sense. He suggested the couple go in one together. Kelly eyed Garnette as she saw sadness in her eyes. You know what? Why don't you sit with Jesse? I'm sure he wouldn't mind someone else's company. She winked at her. Her fiancé laughed. Are you sure? Kelly gave her a look. I'm not worried. You have someone, remember? Garnette blushed as she thought of Ezra, her uncle's advisor and her close friend whom she loved being around. She sat in the swinging chair next to Jesse. Kelly sat behind them. The metal bars locked in place. A few seconds later, the wheel started moving backwards, turning slowly enough to feel the evolution. It's nice to switch now and then. Garnette glanced at him. What do you mean? He gave her a smiling expression. I mean, Kelly and I like sharing. We like to make sure that if there's ever a third wheel or best friend with us, that he or she gets to hang out with one of us. Ah, that makes sense. These past few visits to the amusement park, you two kept alternating on me. She smiled faintly. You and Kelly are so nice. Perfect for each other. Jesse sighed happily. They looked out in the distance. Remember, we're looking for a new area for next time. They each took a different direction and kept an eye out. The two couldn't decide when the Ferris wheel moved them closer to the ground. One more time. Let's try to figure this out. She giggled. Come on. The second turn, you two always get romantic. He rolled his eyes. Well, you do. If that was true, I'd be making a move on you. But you and I both know that I'm in love with Kelly. Quite true, Jessie. Quite true. She giggled and smiled. They looked at each other for a minute, but it somehow felt longer. The Ferris wheel quickly jerked. She gasped. What happened? They were almost at the highest spots of the wheel. Don't worry. The guy down there must be letting out some of the patrons. She looked down. He was right. Garnette sighed when the ride continued soon after. As she and Jessie had reached a few notches below the highest spot, the Ferris wheel jerked again. She shifted uncomfortably. Garnette glanced down again. Her vision quickly changed. The mixture of light and darkness cleared up. She could see two men standing next to each other as their arms flailed in different directions every now and then. Garnette could somehow sense hostility. The Ferris wheel jerked once more. She gasped as her vision returned to normal. Something's wrong, she whispered. She shook her head. Something doesn't feel right. She looked Jessie in the eyes. He grew worried. Are you sure? Garnette nodded. Her ears picked up a sensitive sound. She could hear a screech and crunching. She covered her ears. Garnette knew in an instant that metal was grinding and tearing. Her expression of worry turned into fear. The wheel is gonna fall, she whispered hotly. As his eyes widened, Jessie shook his head. She uncovered her ears when the sounds stopped. No, that's not possible. You still don't know all of your talents, your abilities. You're not Catwoman, you know. She sighed as she made a face. I know it. I just can't let us fall, though. He nodded and sighed as well. Garnette looked behind and up. Kelly? Kelly glanced at her. What's up, Doc? You obviously. His fiancée laughed. Kelly, something's going to happen, Garnette said with worry. Kelly picked up a clue. She raised her brows. What should we do? Well, nothing could be falling but anything else, and people will be suspicious. Jessie had a sudden brainstorm. Wait! You know how to communicate with dolphins. They are not too far from here, and the dolphins could try talking to other animals. She nodded. Of course. I couldn't forget that even if I tried. Garnette smiled. She closed her eyes as she concentrated. A few minutes passed. Before Jessie and Kelly could ask, the dolphins were loudly calling out to other animals. Apes, monkeys, cheetahs, elephants, tigers, and lions were among of many animals that began to cry out. Some seemed scared, some appeared agitated, but the rest acted angry and wanted to get out. Fortunately, it was feeding time for the apes, elephants, and sand cats. The sand cats and apes jumped at their feeders and escaped. The others used their trunks to shove their feeders out of the way and escaped as well. The mammals hurried to the Ferris wheel. People everywhere screamed and cried in fear. Little did they know that the animals were trying to save riders. The apes and sand cats climbed onto the Ferris wheel. The sand cats clawed at metal bars that kept the riders safe, locked in. As the apes grabbed people and carried them to the ground, Kelly and Garnette worked on their bars to open. The three got out and climbed down the Ferris wheel carefully yet quickly. They reached the ground within minutes. Half the people were on the ground because of the mammals. Those who had been taken to the ground narrowed their brows in confusion. They didn't understand why the animals were reacting like this. They would in a minute. Why hasn't any... Kelly asked worriedly. A moment after her question started, metal at the wheel's center screeched and ripped. The wheel began to lean toward a crowd of people. All the elephants that had escaped from their pens trumpeted and leaned against the Ferris wheel. Keep an eye on them. We don't want the elephants to get hurt either. She hurried to two men who had been quarreling moments before and still continuing to do so. What happened? He forgot to do the maintenance, Ferris said. For the umpteenth time, it wasn't my turn, the ticket man hissed. Stop it! You need to call someone. The Ferris wheel is coming down. Their eyes widened in fear. What? They chorused in shock. The men looked up at what was oblivious to them until then. They became surprised at the situation. Elephants had been supporting the wheel, apes collecting people and letting them go at the ground, and sand cats still ripping off the safety bars from the seats. And that is actually where I'm going to stop. Holy freaking cow! Alright, so that might be a little short of a reading, but man, that is actually quite a lot. Because it's been a while since I've done a reading. So, let's hope that my intro is a success. If not, yikes. I hope you all have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. I am the Esperanza 2 for 3, signing out.